Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith Andrew, and I'm still fighting with my jacket. My name is Keith Andrew, and this is episode 461. I'm here with the talented and beautiful Jenna Curtis. I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Thanks for inviting me. I'm very happy to be part of this.
No, the honor is all mine. Now, for people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and to prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. And you should prove to them you can break the labels. So hashtag break the labels. So that being said, half hour, 37 minutes of your time. You can say anything you want, curse if you want to. This is your time. It's whatever you want to talk about. You can tell me to shut up so I can start talking. So it's freedom of speech, self-expressing, and hey, you're just supporting the cause, make a new friend out of it. And I do love your background behind you. It's really nice.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's a big tree behind me supporting this interview.
I'm still working on my decorations, so over time it will get better.
I like that. I like the little cats waving hi and saying hi to me. Yeah, all the charms in the back.
I'm sorry?
All the lucky charms in the back.
That's true. I don't know if you would consider Godzilla a lucky charm, but he is a god after all.
If he is for you, I think it's really what you think it is.
That's true.
What do you think it is for you?
I had this since I was a kid, actually. I had it since I was about 6, 7 years old. Mm-hmm. I'm now 30, so it's amazing how it held up over time.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, those are the best things, right, that we keep for forever.
No, absolutely. And
yeah, kind of a few things like that I brought from Austria because I live in Los Angeles now. But, yeah, those things are very precious. And they can be like silly toys, or people would consider them silly. But yeah, to us, it's a support. It gives us something that we can hold on to.
No, absolutely. I'm just looking at my reflection. I have to move my decorations down. But while I do that, the first question I was going to ask you is, how was life growing up? And were you a study nerd and party animal?
Growing up, I was a very introverted kid. I loved spending hours and hours in my room making puzzles and writing music, playing music, and recording myself on the piano. So I was always artistic. I loved music. I loved singing. And in school, I was in a theater group. That's when I started when I was 11. And it was but still, even in the group, I didn't feel very connected to people. I was always kind of my own thing. And that did bother me, though. That did bother me. And I think that's also why I wasn't really a party animal from the beginning, because I never had those friends. I never had a group of friends like that I was really going out with. I had maybe like always one good friend, like really good friends over a few years. And then usually when I changed schools, I met somebody else, and then you have a new best friend, and that went on and on. But I never, I always preferred staying at home and reading something or playing music or making a puzzle, just as simple as that. That was, that's how I grew up. Very, very quiet, I would say. But I guess that's part of Vienna, where that's the city I grew up in. It's very calm there.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you, when you came over, you were from Russia, right?
I'm from Austria. I'm
bad with my different countries.
That's okay. No, Vienna is Austria, yeah.
No disrespect.
No, it's all good.
So when you made a transition from coming from Austria over to this country, but don't mind me, I had a brain fart. When you came over from Austria to America, Was there like a transition, or did you just hop right into it?
It was a big transition because everything is different here. I mean, people are different, money is different, products in the supermarket look different, like everything tastes different. So yeah, it was a huge transition, and but I think it was very healthy for me because I had to jump out of my shell a little bit. It was very comfortable back home, but inside of me I always felt like there's much more, and there's more to explore, and there's so many things I want to do, and I felt a little bit limited over there in what I could do. So it was very good I would recommend this to everybody, to just go somewhere else and put yourself in an environment where you're scared at the beginning and where you have to figure out things, and on the way you've also figure out who you are. I think that's the best thing about it.
No, absolutely. And you mentioned things taste better, or things taste good, so I hope things taste better. But if you had to compare food, what food is better? Do you like American food, or do you like Austrian food?
I think the food quality is better in Austria. That might be also because, we have our own cows, and, everything is kind of produced very biologically. In Austria, you have very small farms, small produce, and that you can definitely taste. Like, eggs look different. They have like a really orange, yellow yolk. Like here, it's like very light, the color. And yeah, so I think that's, from tasting, I think it's so different that you can't even compare it, because we have very different food in general, the way we cook, and we don't have pies, for example. I love pies. It's so good. My favorite is the banana cream pie. Do you like that?
I heard of it. I never tried it, actually.
Yeah,
but now that you mention it, I will try it.
You should try. Yeah, I love pies, and that was something I had for the first time when I came to LA. I never had pie before. But other than that, here's a lot of fatty food. Like, you get all these burgers, and it's not necessarily very healthy.
No, I agree. Americans don't really eat healthy. That's one of the problems. Just look at what we have. McDonald's, Burger King, Jack's Layback Burgers. And once in a while, you want to have a pizza, you want to have a hero, but having it every day, or having it at your fingertips, it's kind of like, obesity at the door, if you want to look at it like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very easy to be unhealthy, but there's also a way to be healthy, to eat healthy.
No,
yeah, I think so too. And I cook a lot myself. I just want to be in control of what I eat, and I stay away from gluten and dairy. I don't eat sugar, so I'm very clean eater. But it's very rewarding too. I feel much better. It's doing something good for yourself, and feeling good about it. And I can tell when I go to my castings, it's very important that I feel good about myself. And so I book more jobs, and I'm more confident with that. So it helps. It's a good thing to watch what you put inside of your body.
No, absolutely. I've been trying to go on a diet. Maybe you can help me if you're interested. I've been trying to go on a diet. I have a fat neck I'm trying to get rid of. But every time I say I'm going to go on a diet, I'm like, that cookie over there looks pretty. No, I have to go on a diet. Maybe I can just have a little piece.
You know what? I have the same problem, because I love sweets. And as I mentioned, I love banana cream pie. But what I do, I make my own desserts. I make gluten-free, vegan, and sugar-free desserts myself that taste amazing. So I'm playing around with recipes, so I can actually keep on eating those things, but I have to make them myself. But so I'm not suffering from that. I don't have that problem. Of course, if I eat like the whole pie all at once, then it's still calories. So I have to be careful with that, but at least I can keep on eating the stuff that I really like, and it's healthy. It's a healthy version of everything.
Well, you're beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
And with that being said, you used to be like a personal trainer.
Oh, really?
If you're ever up for it.
What is your, like, is the gym, for example, or where did you train?
A personal trainer could be either, in your case, you go to the gym and motivate, or you can motivate people to eat healthy, and you can make your own YouTube show out of it. But I'm just saying, you have the looks to be a great personal trainer.
Oh, I thought you said you were a trainer. You used to be a trainer.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I like inspiring other people to be healthy and happy, because I think the diet can do a lot to you, and even depression, for example, can come from a bad diet, and people are not very aware of that. So good eating, working out, pursuing your dreams, I think that's all kind of belongs together.
Oh, that's the next question I was going to ask you. Actually, I got to two questions in one. What motivates you every day to get up and say, this is what I want to do for the rest of your life? Because I was just promoting you in our interview before we got started. It's saying you're an upcoming singer, actress, and model. So with that being said, what motivates you to be the very best that you can be, and who influenced you to start your career?
I think it all came out of me being in Vienna and really being unhappy with myself. It came out of a frustration. I think frustrating moments are very healthy, because they move you to figure out something bigger that wants to be explored inside of you. Like, it pushes you to make changes. So that was very big, and I think that I was actually inspired by my family, because sometimes we don't like to say that, but sometimes our family shows us not necessarily the best examples of who we can be, and even that can be a good learning process of watching your surrounding and seeing, feeling for other people, and looking at their lives and seeing that they may be unhappy with who they are. And I feel like by jumping out of this and dealing with my own problems and frustrations and discovering who I am and who I can be, I think that inspires my family now too. I wasn't good for anybody as long as I was there, right. But as soon as I left, and as soon as people were just watching my path and having the courage of trying something new and freeing myself from thoughts that were keeping me small, I think that's the biggest gift I can give to them. And this is so motivating to me, and I think that's the reason why I get up in the morning. And even if I'm because everybody's dealing with fears, I'm scared before every job. I always start doubting myself, like, oh my God, am I able to do this actually or not? But I keep doing it because I know I have to. And then, for example, when I think about what I can give with my work, showing other people that it's totally possible to do whatever you set your mind to, and that's beautiful. It's a beautiful gift to have, and I feel there's a responsibility also that comes with that, to share this with other people, and especially my family. I don't want to change the way they are. I don't think that's what it is. But when they see me, I have a commercial running in Austria right now, on TV. So my family sees me every day on TV, and it makes them so happy, And even for that, it's totally worth it. It's so worth it just for them, giving them the joy that I'm their little Jenny. And seeing that if you have courage and if you believe in yourself, and if you jump over your fears and you just go for it, you can be whoever you want to be. And even if they choose not to, even if they choose not to, but to see that it's possible. I think that's my message, and that's what that's why I get up in the morning, and why it makes sense for me to be here. And maybe not. Of course, I miss my family. Sometimes I'm like, it would be so nice, to live close to my family. But then I'm like, I can give them so much more by being here and just being myself and establishing my own life.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, not to lose my voice. Now, I do have a couple of ideas for you off the air. A couple questions I can ask everyone. But you mentioned you were a singer. On a scale 1 to 10, are you a professional singer or do you sing for fun?
No, I'm a professional singer. I'm actually trained in musical theater. I went to a school in Vienna, and I started writing my own music after that. And singing has always been a very special passion of mine. It's been something I've been always doing only in my room when I was by myself. I learned also to share that with people. I think that was the hardest part for me to share with the world, the singing. And I hope that I'm gonna be doing more and more singing in the future. In maybe in films, I would love to do musical films. I love film acting and singing, so that would be perfect, a perfect combination. I was shooting a Volvo commercial, a car commercial, and it was set up like a little musical. So I got to sing and drive the car. So it was acting and singing together, and I love this experience. So I'm really hoping to move forward with this.
No, absolutely. Now, the next easy question I'm going to ask you is because actually the reason I bring up singing is I do a lot of fan-made parodies just for fun. Now, I was wondering actually if you would be interested in doing some.
You do what?
Fan-made parodies.
Oh.
So for an example, go ahead.
That would be me singing. You mean that would just be?
Well, for an example, I'm a fan of Dumbo and Jumblebook. So I would do a couple fan-made parodies where I will give you the lines, you would repeat them, and you would put your own spin on it. That's why it's called fan-made parodies.
Oh, I see. So is it more like a comedy thing?
Well, it could be for both. It's more for entertainment purposes, but it's just for fun.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like fun. So I would be interested in trying something like that, yeah.
What do you want to... well, we can always talk about it afterwards, but I just wanted to throw you the idea.
Yeah, it's nice.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you, the more I look at you, like I said, you are beautiful, you can actually be the stunt double for Kirsten Dunst.
For Kirsten Dunst? That's so funny. It's like everybody sees like something different. I've heard so many different... Some people said, oh, you look like Jessica Biel. And I was like, oh, you look like Angelina Jolie, and oh, you look like Keira Knightley. But those people are just so different. Yeah. All of those women are looking very, very different. So I don't know. I think I just like to be myself.
That's true. But if you put like a blonde away, hands down, if you walk around, they would think you're Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, that could work.
Just give me an idea.
Yeah, it's a lot about the hair, really. It's really, the hair changes everything.
That's true. Maybe I should try that.
Like a blonde wig? Yeah, that would be beautiful.
I know, I try. Now, the next easy question I was going to ask you is, what were some of your favorite sports that you ever did when you were growing up? And were you athletic? And actually, I answered my own question. Were you ever athletic to the point where you want to become a professional? And what were some of your favorite sports?
I was actually never really into sports. I think also in Austria, it's very different than in America. It's not very competitive. We don't have this type of motivation to be in a team or something like that. But what I always loved to do is dancing. So I always went to dance classes, like jazz dance classes, modern dance, ballet. When I was very little, I started doing that. So I was always just interested in dancing. That was my type of sport. And yeah, so, but not at a competition level at all. When I was getting into musical theater, of course, I had to learn all these dances, and we even had like tap dance in school. Yeah, I like that. I still like taking classes, like jazz dance classes. But it was never. I was also never really interested in only becoming a professional dancer, because I know it takes a lot of time. You need a lot of practice every day, and I have so many other things like singing and acting that are interesting to me, that I never wanted to put everything just in one basket.
I agree. And now the last easy question I was going to ask you is, did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or not into the whole human pyramid stuff?
No, I've never. No, but that would be very interesting to try.
Would you ever be up for one?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that stuff. I'm a loser.
So you tried that before?
Actually, it's funny. I always wanted to do one, but I never found a right group of people.
Okay, but it's also, I mean, you need a lot of like training for that, I think, right?
Not really. You can just do it for fun.
Dangerous too, or not?
I didn't catch the last part.
You think you can hurt yourself?
If you're do like spastic, but if you're just doing it for fun and you know what you're doing, it's easy. But
Yeah.
yes, if you're just doing it like I don't know, like whatever, like I don't care attitude, then yeah, it can backfire. But if you go in with a game plan, then yeah, it's gotta be fun.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's probably really about what you put out, what you think it's gonna be that's going to happen.
Now, my last question I was going to ask you, then we could take a quick commercial break, is do you have any new projects coming up in the works? And was a part two to that is, how do you feel about? Actually, no, I will save social media until we come back from the break. But the first question I was going to ask you is, I'm still working on myself as a talk show host. I talk a lot. So the question I was going to ask you, when we come back from the commercial break, got to talk to you about social media. But before we go on the break, do you have any projects that you're working on?
I do have projects. I got very lucky this year. I just got picked up by a musical production, actually, a stage production in Los Angeles. The musical is called Dolls and Guys. I know there's one out there that's Guys and Dolls, but this one is Dolls and Guys, and it's based on a real story. There was a jazz club in LA that was called Guys. So it's all around that. It's about a jazz singer, which is going to be me, moving to New York and being picked up by a musical, but there's some problems. So she comes back to LA to her home club, the Guys Club. And so this is the musical. This is going to happen this year. I'm very excited. We just started rehearsing. And the second thing is I'm part of a feature film production, and I will be starring next to Marlise Zhao, which is was in the Shannara Chronicles, if you know that one. And we have Peter Fonda on board. I will also be playing the lead in this feature film, which will be shot by Jeff Cronenweth, who is the DP, is David Fincher's DP. He was shooting the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Heard
Gone
of it.
Girl. Yeah, he's a really great DP. Amazing picture. So that's another project I'll be part of, and I'm very, very excited about. And this film is called Green Door.
No, absolutely. I'm looking forward to your films, and if you're ever doing commercials, I would love to play it. Actually, you did mention one commercial that you're playing in Austria. If you can send me the link, I will definitely put it in the video.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have actually 2 commercials I've been doing in the last half year, so I can send you both, and you can decide whatever you like.
And if you want, I can play them during my show for you.
You could what?
I can play them during the show if you're interested.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, the one is pretty long. It's like 2.5 minutes. It's the one where the musical one with singing and driving the car. It was like the Volvo commercial. Is that too long?
Yeah, it should be fun. I can see what I can do with it.
Yeah. Okay. I just send you those. Yeah, I can send you that over.
Okay.
It will be great.
Now we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about social media, and then I'm going to pass the show over to you.
All right.
Very.
Arlene Schofield.
My name is Shireen Snow.
My name is Carla A. Miles.
Diana Camuto.
This is Christine Dunford.
I'm me, Eden.
Caroline Macy. This is Walker Fannin.
Buddy, I'm Camille Dixon.
I'm Dates Wardam.
My name is Linda Preston, and you're watching the Keith Andrew Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to 461. I'm here with the talented and beautiful Jenna Curtis, and I just want to say thank you for sticking with us. Now, it's the last 11 minutes left of the show. I'm going to pass it over to you. You can ask me anything you want, talk about whatever you want, and starting off, the last thing I did hint towards when we took the commercial break is social media. My last question to you, passing the show over, is how do you feel about social media, and do you think social media can make you or break you? Does it dictate your career, or how do you feel about it?
I think social media can be very beneficial for your business if you use it right. I think it's not supposed to be a space for a lot of personal information. I think it would be better if people would use it more for their businesses. I believe that it can break a lot of people because they see, they think they have to be a certain way. You know, they see, it's like TV commercials. That's what everybody was warning me when I was a kid. It's like, don't watch this so much, you know, like those girls, like they are all, they're just wearing makeup and that's not real, you know, or retouched photos are out there where everybody thinks like, oh my God, like I don't look like this. And so people you start comparing yourself with what's out there, and you lose the sense of yourself. You lose that sense of there's no comparison really, because nobody's like you. And I think it can be really, really bad for you if you're trying to be somebody else all the time. So everybody's on social media is basically trying to be a certain person, and it feels like they're all trying to be the same.
Right.
And I don't think that's very healthy, because then people change. I mean, they even do plastic surgery to look like somebody else they want to be, and just not accepting themselves. So I think that's a big problem with social media. And that's also I like staying away from those posts, you know. And I use social media really to network. I use it to show my work, to inspire other people, show them what I'm doing. It's never more about look at me, you know, I'm so great. It's more like, I had this great experience, I want to share this with you, and I want to let you know that, you know, you can do this too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's like a very different approach from me, because I don't want to discourage people with what I do. If it intimidates other people, but when they see, you know, that, I don't think that's why we're here. I think we're here to support our dreams and showing people that it's possible, and there's no limits really. And I think I'm a very good example with a lot of stuff, because English is not my first language,
right.
And a lot of people give me that limit here. They say, oh, you have an accent, oh, you can't do this, oh, you can't do that. But I really believe it's only what I think it is. And if I don't think it's a problem, it's not going to be a problem. And the proof is all the work that I'm picking up, you know, and that I'm doing, and showing that to people. When I came here, I didn't have a work permit. For example, for 1.5 years, I was dog sitting, I was like babysitting, I was teaching German, I was just doing stuff to survive, and I was like having like 5 different jobs illegally, just to be able to be here. And other people are telling me, oh yeah, I just moved here, it's so difficult, but they have a green card, and they are from here, and then it's like it's just a matter of perspective. It's just a matter of perspective, and if you don't think it's going to be a problem, it's not going to be a problem. And I think that's very important for everybody to know, that there's really no limits unless you give yourself limits. And I think that's also what your show is about, and it's about that labeling, right? Like if somebody tells you, oh, you are this, you are that, then you start believing that. And it's very unhealthy for you because you live that up to that label and you become that, even though it's not your personal truth. It's not really who you are. And I think everybody should define their own label and give, it's, for example, also what I did, like Jenna Curtis is not my real name. Jenna Curtis is my label in order to be able to do how I see myself and who I want to be. And that name holds all that within. It's like a brand. And I think this is why I encourage always people to change their names or give them their own labels, Like if you're not comfortable with who you are, then change it. Then put yourself in this position before you feel it. Because then you start feeling it. It's like you put yourself in an environment that makes you that person that you want to be. But you have to do the first step and you have to make that change. Otherwise, those old patterns and beliefs about yourself, they just stick around and you're never able to figure out who you really are.
No, I agree with you. For an example, yes, Keith is my real name. But Andrew's not really my last name. That's my middle name. So I'm using my first and middle name. People can only guess what my last name is. I give anyone $1,000 if they can figure that out.
There's so many things out there. I mean, it's really hard to guess the real last name, or just in general a name.
It's true.
Yeah, but it is what fits for you, right? And what sounds best for you and your show, and that's important. It's the same when I go into a casting room and an audition room. I need to feel comfortable, and if I use my real name from back home, I might not feel that comfortable. So whatever is necessary to create what you want to create, just do it. I mean, it's your life, but there's nobody. You can choose and create, and that's a good thing to know, that we have the power. We have the power to create that, and nobody else can actually interfere with that.
No,
we don't.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
No, I'm done.
I was gonna say the good thing about coming up with like a stage name is saying, for an example, if I ever did use my real last name and I did something stupid. I give you an example. Say, hypothetically, you're my sister. It does say, for an example, you were my sister. And we had the same last name. And I would use something stupid. Like I said, for an example, my last name would be Curtis, too. And I was like, oh, Jenna, you're related to Keith Curtis. Yeah, he recently did something stupid. But we don't want to have anything to do with anyone with that kind of reputation. You see what I mean? Because if I do something stupid, it's going to blow back to one of my siblings. So that's why I said, forget it. I'm going to use my middle name. So if something happens, God forbid, it's on me. It's my responsibility. But if I was your brother and I did something dumb with the last name, then it's kind of like, how are you any different, if that makes any sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's taking your own responsibility for, what you do with your life. And I also like the idea of, being in this world that I create here, And when I go back home, they can call me whatever, and I will be always their little Jenny, and they will never stop calling me that, and that's fine, and that's totally fine. But yeah, there's something. Yeah, it's like also making your own brand and kind of cutting off, the roots to your family for that, which is totally necessary to do your own thing. So I understand that. Yeah. And KeithAndrewNetWork, I mean, that's perfect. That sounds like a good name.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Now, what's the last couple of minutes left, and I'll pass it over to you. Was there anything you wanted to know, anything you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to know what, you asked me some questions about what makes me get up in the morning, and I would like to return that question to you.
Sure.
It's an important question, I think.
All right. Well, I'm just looking on the time we have remaining. Did you have any other questions, or was this your main focus?
I think that's very interesting to me. I think that's the main question, yeah. I would like to.
All right. And we can always talk about, I can give you an extra 5 minutes, give or take.
Okay, perfect.
But I try to keep my interviews down to under 40 minutes. That's my new goal. Anyway, without beating around the bush, what motivates me, and I can show you, what motivates me is being the best person that I can physically can. And before I get to the belt, it's basically for the longest time I was told with a learning disability. I learn and read at a 5th grade level. Let's see, trying to sum it up. Okay, I learn and read. Let me just shut off the timer. It's distracting. Okay. So basically, what motivates me is being the best person that I can possibly can. Because we live only once, and when I die, I would like to be remembered as making a difference in somebody's life. No matter how big or small, it's the thought that counts. For you, I hope I made a difference in your life by giving you this opportunity, to be a guest on my show, and I'm extending my hand to you in friendship. That's the thing I would like to be remembered. And so if I die and if someone says to you, hey, Jenna, what do you remember about Keith? He's like, oh, it was okay. But you can say, and the one thing I would be thankful for was when he was starting his talk show, he was nice enough to extend his hand in friendship and give me an opportunity to, reach my fans and make a difference. It's all about making a difference. And, I read and learn at a 5th grade level. I have poor people skills, if you can tell. It's labeled handicapped, mentally disturbed, retarded. And I was told I was going to be in a group home and I was going to be a burden for people. So I said, screw it. I'm going to show you with a disability, I can still amount to something. And yes, along the way, my talk show, I met some great people. I met some assholes. But that's like that in every business. And that's why I updated permission forms, too, because people try to weasel their way out of it and make excuses. And I love your accent. And you're a beautiful woman. You have a great accent. I think for you, it's an asset. Because if someone says, can you do like an accent? You say, I can't snap my fingers. You can do it, right there. You can, add different tones to it. It's yours. It's not a weakness. It might be a weakness, but you can turn it into a strength. Mm-hmm. Just because you have something doesn't mean it's going to be like, oh, you're from Austria. Big whoop. Or, in my case, I'm handicapped and retarded. Big whoop. But it's basically, if God gives you a shitty hand, first off, you have to wash your hands. That's number one, because you don't want any germs. And the second one is, whatever hand you're dealt, you're going to prove to them you can make the best of it. So that being said, I created my belt. I originally did over 777 interviews. And I got myself a trophy. And this is really cool. You know, it annoys me because you can see under the, right there, under the star, you see it's starting to peel up.
Oh, yeah?
I told them I wanted glass. I said, I don't care if I have to pay extra. I want this to be glass. So occasionally I would have to squeeze down on this and make sure it doesn't pop up. You can see in an example of my stupidity is this part was peeling up. And I was like, hey, maybe if I use Gorilla Glue, it would solve the problem. Hey, you're doing some impressions for you. Just want to make you laugh. So that's it. Just doing some impressions make you laugh. But for example, I had some Gorilla Glue. And unfortunately, when I pressed down, it smeared. And I had the bright idea of saying, why not use paper towels? Yeah, that's a real genius move. So I used paper towels and I wiped it and I smudged it. So basically I custom the whole thing, you know, my logo, the stars. Originally the stars were supposed to be American flags. And I was kind of like, that's a little too patriotic. I like the stars more. And here's a funny thing for you. This is the second time I got this fixed. The first time it said, KeithAndrewNetWork, chimp and chimp. And because I misspelled championship. So it said chimp and chimp. And I was like, what the hell is a chimp and chimp? And don't you mean championship? Okay, you're making fun of me with some disability. No, yeah, but at least get to use spell check or something. Like, chimp and chimp. And then my brother's like, I'm here with my friend. Let's see your chimp and chip belt. It's like, it's forget it. So I went, I got it fixed. Now it's called championship. But this belt is to symbolize this June would be 5 years. So this shows you for, I wish it was June so I can say 5 years already. This shows you for 4.5 years, the kid who was labeled mentally disturbed, retarded, reads and learns at a 5th grade level. Look at what he's capable of doing. Someone who never went to college and has all these disabilities. This belt, it's a symbol of my hard work, saying if I can do it, you can do it too. It doesn't matter if you're deaf, blind, or in a wheelchair. If you have a passion, you should go and do it. And I have interviewed people who, or this one guy who has cerebral palsy, but he's a filmmaker. I interviewed this one actress, and funny enough, she told me a funny story where she fired her agent because I said, you're in a wheelchair. He can now, take you out of the chair, plop you on a couch or a chair, sit you at the table. There you go. You can still do the seeing. You're not glued to the wheelchair. And she's a fantastic actress.
Yeah.
And after I said that, now she's got like a magic game role. So it's like, maybe I have the magic touch. But I'm saying, never say never. But I'm just saying it doesn't matter. If I interviewed a deaf person, but she's an upcoming actress and she's a dancer. So this belt symbolizes saying, doesn't matter what disabilities you have, or if you want to look at your accent, you may think, that's a disability, but that's not going to hold you back. That's not going to say, I'm not good enough because I have an accent. Personally, it's an asset to me. I wish I had your accent because I love your accent. I just like accents. And I think it adds something to it where you can benefit from it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's just probably, those things make you who you are. And I think it's like with social media. If you try to become something else and somebody else, you lose that authentic you, and then it gets worse, like then people don't book you either because you're not even being yourself. So I guess it's better to just be yourself with whatever you are and whatever your problems or disabilities are, and still go for your passions and not let that become a problem for you in your head, because I think it's really just the belief system, whatever we believe is possible, is really possible.
No, and while wrapping up, I do have one thing I do want to run past you, and it's, I got into a fight with this person who I interviewed a while ago, and she said, with the permission forms, once you sign it, that's it. It's a done deal. Of course, if you decide, if I say something stupid, it's like, hey, Keith, you said this stupid comment, can you edit it? I'd be more than happy to edit it. But taking it down, I won't take it down because you have to stand by it. Now, I've been very professional. You're very professional. I do stupid things, but, that's because of my disability. But going back to that person, he's like, yeah, I don't like my accent. I don't want my accent to... And this is the last question I was going to ask you, actually. I want to tell you what she said to me, and I want your honest opinion.
Okay.
Because she didn't like her accent, and she thinks her accent will hold her back, will hold her against her career, or just label her. Now, because you have an accent, do you think that's true, or do you think there's a lot of shit?
I think that I know that people tell us that. I know that it's an easy thing to tell somebody, if you have an accent, you're not going anywhere in this industry. I don't believe in that. I remember when I came here, I didn't even think that would be a problem. So it wasn't a problem. And
it's not a problem.
No, not at all. And but still, now I'm more careful, with listening to people, because they just give you labels again. It feels like they label you and say, oh, this is the girl with the accent. And if you start believing that, that's dangerous. That's like toxic for your system, because if you pick up that thought, you create that. So I think it's just I think it's only valid what you believe is to be true. And that's for everything, not just for an accent. It's just in general for who you are. You can create that with your own beliefs, your own belief system, and everybody else. What they say is not. It's not valid. They can't give you a label, and we all grew up like that, having labels, and people didn't know what they did to us. But now we are grown up, and we can take the responsibility for that and change it around any time, every day, every minute. We can decide to stop that and just make our own label.
So # break the labels.
Absolutely. Yeah, break the labels, the old labels, and make your own new ones. That's so much more fun anyways.
Oh, absolutely. Now, wrapping up, I do have a couple of questions for you off the air. Wrapping up, how can people follow you on social media? Are you on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn? Are you on any of those websites?
Yes, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Instagram is Jenna Curtis _LA. Since I'm mainly here, like LA is my home base right now. Jenna Curtis on Facebook. And I'm also on LinkedIn, although I have to say I don't use that so much. I like Instagram and Facebook.
All right. Now, to my other question, I'd say get on Twitter. Twitter's really good, too.
I have to say, I never had, I don't know. I felt like I have enough social media websites going on with two, because it can be also very distracting, or because you have to update it and you have to communicate with people. So I was like, if I have a third one, I don't know, could be very distracting.
Yeah, that's an idea.
But what I update though too is my IMDb account. I think it's very important to have like a very good profile if you're an actor or if you're in the entertainment industry, that you have an IMDb page that represents you in the best light, shows really all your accomplishments and photos, and I think it's just important to show your work, show what you're doing, and otherwise people don't know. Like they don't know if you don't tell them.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, my last question for you, wrapping up your segment, is when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first reaction, And after doing the interview, do you still have the same reaction, or do you think differently?
I was curious. I mean, I know I get a lot of interesting requests on Facebook, where I don't usually look into it much. I have to say, it was very clear, like you wrote very clearly what it is about. I thought it's very interesting because I've been dealing with breaking the labels, showing people that you're your own limitation, basically, so there's nobody who can give you limits through their opinion. So I'm a big fan of that. So I felt like this is definitely something that I can imagine being part of. And I did some research on your show, of course, and that's when I was I liked being part of this, and when I agreed to doing this interview.
And do you have any regrets?
No, not at all. No, I felt like that was a really good talk, and I think it's very supportive. You know, it's good for people. It's good for the world, something like that. So I always like supporting that and inspiring people, motivating people to take, you know, their own life in their hands and do something with it and be powerful and know that they can create anything they want.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I feel like I'm out of the show, yeah? That's what you're doing.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Hey, you helped me, I helped you. And it was your commercial. You know, I would love to play it, you know, on my YouTube channel to help you get more views, if you're okay with it.
Absolutely. I don't have a problem with that, yeah.
Now, I do have a couple questions for you off the air about wrapping up our interview segment. It was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road.
Thank you so much. I had a really great time.